There stands a bluebird.
La 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 la.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
You're a very good singer, but there's a slight, I won't call it a problem, I'll call it a cultural difference. In the Caribbean and in West Africa, when there is music, I don't know anybody who sits still. Nobody. Okay?
So you have to stand up?
All I want is a little... That's all. Remember, we're performing together now. There's no us and them. Alright? And I can see you. Okay, so that guy over there, he knows. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's a very groovy guy over there. Okay? So, just a little sway like this. There stands a bluebird. Tra-la-la. There stands a bluebird.
La-la-la-la.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Very nice. Now show me emotion.
Tra-la-la-la.
Show me emotion.
Tra-la-la-la.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Now dance around the ocean.
La-la-la-la.
Dance around the ocean.
La-la-la-la.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Give me sugar, coffee and tea.
Every day the old woman sang this song to the bird, and every day the bird grew stronger. Crank!
Crack.
Crank!
Crack.
Crank!
Crack.
One day, she was in the kitchen preparing more watercress, when suddenly she felt something land on her shoulder. She looked. She saw it was the bird. It was fully restored. Its wing was strong. It sat on her shoulder and it sang and it sang and it sang. And the woman's heart was lifted one moment and then sank the next. Because she knew this was not her bird. She had to release this bird. The only friend she had to take this bird back to where she found it. Because perhaps this bird had its own family. So even though it hurt her, she took the bird on her finger. She said, "My friend, I'm glad you're happy, I'm glad you're healthy, but you don't belong to me. So I'll take you to where I found you. Maybe one day you'll come and visit me." So she walked to the river. She stroked the bird one more time. She kissed the bird. "Goodbye, my friend," she said. And then she let the bird go. She watched the bird fly up into the air. The bird circled around her 3 times and was gone. And I have to tell you, there was a tear in her eye as she watched the bird go. Time passed. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days later, she was sitting there by the river, reminiscing. When she heard the song of her bird, she looked up and she saw the bird circling above her head. She said, "My friend, I'm so happy to see you." The bird didn't land on her finger, but it had something in its beak. The bird opened its beak and let the thing fall. It landed at her foot. She picked it up. It was a pumpkin seed. A perfect pumpkin seed. She hadn't seen a pumpkin seed for so long. She was tempted just to pop it in her mouth. But then she said, "No, if I plant it, I can eat something other than watercress." And she walked back to her house and she took a stick and she made a hole. She dropped the pumpkin seed into the hole, she covered the hole. She watered that pumpkin seed every day. And sure enough, a shoot, which grew taller, taller, and then began to run along the ground, curling and whirling its way along the ground. And then the first fruit came. The pumpkin grew bigger and bigger and bigger. It was the biggest pumpkin she'd ever seen in her life. And when it was ripe, when it was ready, she took a knife and she cut the pumpkin. She took the pumpkin into her house, she put it on the table. She thought of all the things she could make with that pumpkin. Pumpkin risotto, pumpkin pie, pumpkin soup, roasted pumpkin, boiled pumpkin. What's that dish you told me about yesterday? With the pumpkin rice pudding? Pumpkin rice pudding in the pumpkin. I heard it from Georgia. I heard about this. The most delicious pumpkin. She thought and she thought. She took her knife. She cut the pumpkin in half. But when she did, find the beautiful orange flesh of the pumpkin. Instead, she found food, ready cooked, hot food that she could eat immediately. Now, if it was your pumpkin, what would be in there? What would be in your pumpkin? Tell me. Sorry? Lasagna was in the pumpkin. What else is in the pumpkin? Rice pudding. Well, we know rice pudding is in the pumpkin. What else is in the pumpkin?
Kadayif.
You have to shout, I can't hear you. Who? Cheesecake is in the pumpkin.
Oh,
what else is in the
cheesecake.
pumpkin?
Rolling cheesecake.
Sorry? Pumpkin. What else is in the pumpkin? Pie. What kind of pie? Apple pie? Chicken and mushroom pie?
Pumpkin
I
seeds.
need to hear some Serbian dishes in my pumpkin. Tell me. Sarma. Sarma. What else is in my pumpkin? Everything you say is in the pumpkin.
Pumpkin seeds.
She ate until for the first time
There's no
in
such
many
things
years,
as fairy
she had to
tales.
undo the belt on her skirt. She sat back, but still the pumpkin was half full. She said, I can't waste this food. And then she remembered her neighbor. We all have a neighbor like this. Someone who's always moving the curtains when you come out of your house. You know those neighbors?
Yeah.
Someone who wants to talk to you, but only because they want to know what's going on. They don't care about you. She was one of those neighbors. So the old woman, she took the pumpkin, she made her way through the forest, she made her way past the river, until she came to her neighbor's house. She knocked the door. Tuk, 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 tuk.